Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into some research you sent our way about AI,
Yeah, specifically about large language
which
models.
seem to be everywhere these days.
That's right. And this research is about a new framework called AFLOW.
AFLOW.
It stands for Automating Agentic Workflow Generation. And it's not just about making LLMs better at answering your questions.
Okay, so what is it about then? That sounds kind of complicated.
So imagine you give an AI assistant a really complex task,
Hmm.
um, like planning a trip to Italy, right? Instead of just, booking flights or suggesting hotels, it breaks the whole process down.
Okay.
Researching destinations, finding the best deals, creating a day-by-day itinerary,
Wow.
even factoring in your budget.
So it's like a super travel agent.
Exactly. That's what we call an agentic workflow.
Yeah.
It's a multi-step process the AI follows to achieve a goal.
Ah, got it. So instead of just responding to prompts, it's like the AI has its own internal project manager or something.
Yeah, precisely. But right now, human researchers have to hand design these workflows for each task. And I'm guessing that's really time-consuming.
Incredibly. AFLOW aims to automate that entire process.
So it's AI, building AI. That's getting pretty meta, isn't it? But how does it even, begin to tackle that?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Think about all the different things an LLM can do. Generate text, translate languages,
Right.
write different kinds of creative content, and even code. There are countless ways to combine these actions into a workflow, right?
Right.
It's a massive search problem.
I like trying to find a needle in a haystack the size of, the entire internet.
Pretty much. And ASL uses a method called Monte Carlo tree search to navigate that haystack.
Okay.
Especially good at these kinds of problems because it balances exploration with exploitation.
So it's learning as it goes, becoming more efficient at building these workflows over time. Okay, that's really cool. But what makes AFLOW different from, previous attempts at this?
Well, one key innovation is the use of code as a common language.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like giving the AI a set of building blocks it can rearrange to find the most elegant solution.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see where this is going. Is that where these operators you mentioned come in?
Exactly. Operators are like pre-built modules for common tasks, like
Mm-hmm.
summarizing a document or identifying key arguments or even composing, different creative text formats.
So it's not just starting from scratch every time. It has these ready-made components to work with that makes it much more efficient, right?
Right. And by using code, these operators can be combined in incredibly precise and flexible ways.
Hmm.
This opens up a lot of possibilities for creating really sophisticated workflows.
This is all starting to sound very futuristic, but does it actually work in practice, or is it all still theoretical at this point?
That's the really exciting part. This isn't just some pie in the sky idea. The researchers put AFLOW to the test on 6 different benchmark data sets,
Okay.
covering a wide range of tasks from solving grade school math problems to answering really open-ended questions about images. And the results were pretty amazing.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here. Spill the tea. How did it perform? So how did AFLOW do? Did it pass the test?
It really did. It exceeded expectations, actually. AFLOW consistently outperformed existing methods across all 6 data sets.
Okay, cool.
We are talking significant improvements in both accuracy and efficiency.
Wow, that's a really big deal. So this isn't just some incremental improvement. It sounds like a potential game changer, really. But for those of us who aren't, AI researchers, what's the key takeaway here?
Well, one of the most exciting things about AFLOW is that it could make powerful AI tools far more accessible. The research showed that AFLOW enables smaller, less computationally expensive LLMs to outperform larger ones.
So you wouldn't need a Google-sized budget to have a really powerful AI.
Exactly.
That's huge. What kind of impact could that have, do you think?
Well, it could be revolutionary, honestly. Imagine startups, small businesses, even individual researchers having access to this level of AI capability.
Yeah.
It could democratize the field and lead to an explosion of innovation across industries.
Okay, now I'm really starting to see the potential here. It's not just about automating tasks. It's about making the power of AI more available to everyone.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And there's another fascinating aspect of this. Remember how we talked about those operators being like building blocks?
Yeah.
Well, in one of their experiments, AFLOW independently discovered a more effective way to use them.
Wait, you mean AFLOW came up with its own strategy?
Yeah.
What kind of strategy?
It stumbled upon the concept of ensemble learning.
Ensemble learning.
Yeah, without being explicitly told to.
Mm.
Essentially, it found that generating multiple solutions to a problem and then comparing them led to more accurate results.
Oh, interesting.
It's like asking multiple experts for their opinions, and then synthesizing their answers to get a more, well-rounded perspective.
So AFLOW basically figured out that two heads are better than one, all on its own.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like it was thinking like a human expert,
Mm-hmm.
identifying and applying a more sophisticated problem-solving strategy.
That's incredible. It's like we're witnessing a glimpse of something truly groundbreaking here. The idea of AI not just like following instructions, but actually innovating and coming up with its own solutions is both exciting and a little bit, daunting.
I agree. It does open up a whole new world of possibilities, doesn't it? And with AFLOW, we are talking about automating the very process of figuring out how to best automate tasks. It's like meta-automation at its finest.
So it's not just about AI assistants anymore, it's about AI architects.
Precisely. Designing and building complex systems on their own. And as you pointed out earlier, the accessibility factor just amplifies the potential impact.
Yeah, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Hmm.
Are we on the cusp of a major technological leap here?
It's certainly a significant development, one that could reshape how we interact with and benefit from AI.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I do have to ask, what about the potential downsides? It seems like every time we take a big leap forward with technology, there are always, unintended consequences.
You're right to be cautious. With any new technology, especially one as powerful as this, we need to be mindful of how it's developed and deployed.
So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in the evolution of this technology? So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in the evolution of this technology?
Well, the research on AFLOW is still ongoing. It's like we've just glimpsed this vast, uncharted territory,
Yeah.
With this new approach to AI, there's so much more to explore and
I
understand.
think we've invented the telescope, but we're still just figuring out how to focus the lens.
Exactly. And one of the most exciting avenues is exploring how these more independent and efficient LLMs can be applied in various fields. Imagine the possibilities in scientific research,
Yeah.
where an AI can not only analyze data, but also design experiments and even interpret the results.
That would be incredible. And what about in something like personalized education?
Oh, yeah.
Could AFLOW help create AI tutors that tailor their approach to each student's learning style?
Absolutely. The possibilities are pretty much endless. But it's not just about applying this technology in different domains. It's also about making sure it's developed responsibly.
That's something I've been thinking about a lot, actually. How do we ensure that a technology as powerful as this is used ethically and for the benefit of humanity, as a whole?
It's a crucial question, and it's one that needs to be addressed from multiple angles. We need to think carefully about the data that's used to train these AI systems,
Right.
making sure it's as unbiased and representative as possible.
Right. We don't want to accidentally amplify existing biases or create new ones.
Exactly. And we also need to establish clear guidelines for how this technology can be used,
Mm.
especially in areas with, significant ethical implications.
Yeah, for sure.
Transparency is key.
Transparency and ongoing dialogue, right? It's important that we don't shy away from these difficult conversations just because the technology is complex.
I completely agree. This isn't something that can be left solely in the hands of, researchers or tech companies. We need a broad societal conversation about the potential benefits and risks of AI
Yeah.
and how we can shape its development in a way that aligns with our values.
It sounds like we're not just talking about a technological revolution, but a social and ethical one as well.
Precisely. And it's a revolution that's already begun, honestly. The research on AFLOW is just one small part of a much larger story that's unfolding right before our eyes.
Wow, this deep dive has really opened my eyes to the transformative potential of AI. It's both exhilarating and a little bit daunting, to be honest.
I understand completely. But ultimately, I'm optimistic. I believe that by working together, we can harness the power of AI to create a better future for everyone.
It's a challenging but incredibly exciting time to be alive. Thanks so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of AFLOW and the future of AI. You've given our listeners a lot to think about.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to discuss these fascinating topics with you.
And to all our listeners, if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to check out our website for additional resources and show notes. And if you have any research you'd like us to explore in a future episode, head to the site and send it our way. Until next time, stay curious.